some extra money is picking up pieces of furniture like this from garage sales, online sites, or Goodwill. Picking them up for pretty cheap, $20 to $50, and then simply repainting them, refinishing them, and selling them, reselling them for $200, $300 or so. I found that it's a really simple way for me to make some extra money, and also kind of have a fun hobby to do on the weekends or in the evenings when I don't have school or homework to do. So it's really simple, and in this video I'll make a step-by-step of how I found the best way, at least for me, that I like refinishing pieces of furniture. You'll first want to get out all of your supplies. Of course, right when you start, you'll want to take off all of your hardware, and the easiest way to do that is with an electric screwdriver, but a handheld one will do the same job. This is my favorite chalk paint that I've used here. It's Rust-oleum, and I love this color linen white. I think the quality is really good, and it looks really pretty on the pieces. I've found the best price that I found is on Amazon, and it is $17 online at Amazon. For the top of this hutch, I'm going to be using this chalk paint that I actually picked up at Walmart, and I like using these dark colors, like a dark gray with a contrast to the white. My other option would have been a gel stain like this, but for this project I'm doing the gray chalk paint on top. I also like to have just some type of container to hold all of my nails and the hardware that comes off of the hutches or any of the pieces. And then brushes, let's see, where are those? For brushes, I just picked these up at Walmart. They're not my favorite. I'll link the one that I usually get at Home Depot, but I had to replace all of the ones that I had got at Home Depot, but the ones at Home Depot I really like because the handle is really short, so you're not dealing with so much of a handle and you have a lot more bristles, so I'll link that one. And then you'll want to get a few sponges to apply the clear top coat on top once you're all done painting. And for top coats, I would use this polycrylic, and this is great especially for white pieces that are painted white, because polyurethane will yellow over time, but this polycrylic goes on and dries clear, so it's a really, really pretty finish. As you can see, the top of this hutch is pretty beat up. I'm definitely gonna have to sand it really good. There are quite a few like indentations in it that I don't know if sanding will be able to cover up so much, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the chalk paint or stain it yet. So we'll just kind of go, see as we go. So the first thing we'll want to do is take off the doors and take out the drawers. The drawers are the simplest things to paint. So dressers and hutches are always my go-to because they are really fast turnaround time, so easy to paint and refinish. So definitely recommend those two. And yeah, so just take off your doors. Now I've seen people do them different ways, but for me, I only paint the outside doors. I don't paint anything that's on the inside. It just saves time, and no one has said anything about it, and I'm able to sell my pieces for the same price that you would sell them if you painted the inside doors as well. So I just save time and only do the outsides. And you'll find things inside of your hutches and pieces. I've never found money yet. If I was going to paint the inside, the only thing on the inside I would paint would be the inside of the doors, but none of the actual inside framing or of the drawers. But these knobs are ugly. I should get new knobs. I'm going to do a really light sanding. It's just like I really like drawers because they're really easy and it's like so pretty. Okay, I definitely like my Home Depot brush more. This thing is giant. Okay, so this Home Depot brush, it's really, the bristles are probably shorter than that. I think it's like a 2-inch brush. This is a 3-inch, it's huge. But the handle is really short too, so it's really nice to be able to get into like smaller spaces, smoother, easier to use. Honestly, this is just like super easy. And I wouldn't have known what I was gonna do had it not been for my mother-in-law that like told me what brands and everything to get. But honestly, if you just watch my YouTube video, okay, just watch like a few YouTube videos and you'll get it. It's just a really simple way to make money. Okay, the only, like, for doing the sides, the best piece of advice is just like, don't get a new glop of paint, just do the excess that's on your brush and lightly do it. If you do a big glop, that's when you're gonna get the leakage or like the big glop going over the side. Okay, I finished the second coat on the exterior doors. Gonna need a third coat, which is normal. Here's the second coat for the side, and then this is what your first coat is gonna look like throughout. For this next part, we're going to be using a really fine grit sandpaper to sand down the finished pieces before putting on the top coat, the clear top coat. So for this, I use 220 grit, very fine. We're not removing any of the color. All we're doing is smoothing it out, making sure that, try to zoom in here, but making sure that these lines here are not entirely visible. We want those to be more clear, a little more smooth, especially to the touch. So for that, I do have an electric sander, but I think for the doors especially, it's just easier to use a handheld or a little piece of paper. And I mean, you can see the color or the dust coming right off of it. But you can notice right away it's much smoother to the touch. And you want it to be nice and smooth like that. But before you put any top coat on, you want to make sure you have it the surface smooth. So definitely you'll want to make sure you use your sandpaper before any top coat. Okay, so it has this distressed look on the side. And I really like the way this one turned out. You can see it here, and then it goes up the door frame a little. Let's try to zoom it out a little. Yeah, it's all along that side where the door handle will be, and the glass is here, and then also at top. I like the way it turned out. It's also on this side, so I'm gonna keep that distressed look. I really like the way this one turned out. If I ever do this and it doesn't come out quite right, I'll just repaint the distressed area, let it dry, and then re-sand it to either not distress it or just give it a better distressed look. But that's the good thing about having a distressed look. There's no pattern to it, so just do what you think looks good. I usually don't sand down the top of hutches as much as countertops as much as I did this one. I went to the bare bone on bare wood on this one. I usually just do a really light sanding, but for this one I used a really strong grit, and I sanded it down quite a bit because the top was really beaten up and had a lot of marks on it. So I wanted to make sure I had a very smooth finish to paint on top of, as smooth as I could. I'm going to use polycrylic as the top coat. This is a clear gloss, and this is going to be the top coat on top of everything. And once you are all done with your project, this is what your final piece will look like. You can see that some here along the door frames will have some slight distressing, and it's a really pretty farmhouse vintagey look. I replaced the doorknobs and also on the drawers as well. I was able to find them at Hobby Lobby, and they're pretty inexpensive. And they had a really great selection. So if you ever have to replace doorknobs or anything, I would check out Hobby Lobby because they had a great selection and it was relatively cheap. But the distressing came out really nice. You'll see the polycrylic that I got was the clear gloss, and it just gives it a really, really nice finish. And I used that on the white and also on this countertop on the gray.